Hey there, it's Kevin Ward with Yes Masters Real Estate Success Training, helping you get more yeses and more successes in your business and in your life. And on the board behind me is one of my favorite words. It's my favorite word because it stops most people. And if you want to be massively successful in your life and you want to win huge in your life, the way you beat the competition is you don't let that stop you, because it's going to stop 98% of your competition. So my question today is, how do you overcome fear? How do you get rid of fear in your life? And that's really two different questions. One, how do you get rid of fear in your life? And two, how do you overcome it? Because the reality is you're probably never going to get rid of fear in your life. You don't want to. Fear is intelligence. In other words, fear is your subconscious mind alerting you to potential danger. The problem is that most of the time it's not real danger that we're facing with. It is an expectation of something that might be painful or unpleasant. And so we have this fear. Now, in real estate, our fear is typically all up here. In other words, our fear is of things like rejection, or fear of failure, fearing of somebody being rude to us, or fear of annoying a friend, or whatever it is, right? So it's just there. It may be fear of the phone, which comes up, but again, it's fear of rejection. So I want to share with you a thought or a quote from a book called Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield. In fact, if you've not, all my coaching members are getting this book. I recommend this to everybody, all my coaching members. Turning Pro is just a life-changing book. And here's the reason. The real estate industry is unfortunately an industry that is saturated with amateurs. And that is just people that just show up and try to just, without really a commitment of a professional level of a commitment, they want to get professional level results. And I talk a lot about that. But anyway, I just want to share with you a quote from this book about how the professional deals with fear versus how the amateur deals with fear. And here it is. So just think of this big, bad word, fear. What do you do? And here's what he says. The professional, by the way, is just as terrified as the amateur. Now, I want you to really embrace that, because a lot of agents say, like, well, I want to be like so-and-so, or I look at these top producing agents and they're never afraid. Well, the reality is a lot of them are still afraid. And if not, they spend a lot of time being afraid. Does that make sense? In fact, one of the greatest actors of the 20th century was Charlton Heston. And they say Charlton Heston never got over his stage fright, that he would literally, before going on stage for a stage performance, he would literally throw up. And then he would go out and perform as one of the best in the world. So the difference between a pro and amateur, now watch this, the professional, by the way, is just as terrified as an amateur. In fact, the professional may be more terrified than the amateur, because she is more acutely aware of herself and of her interior universe. In other words, she's aware of her fear. She feels it intensely. The difference lies in the way the professional acts in the face of fear. You see, it's not about how do you get over fear, it's how do you overcome fear. And the way you overcome it is you just go over it. You just do it anyway. It's gonna be there. The amateur has fear. The professional has just as much fear, and maybe more fear, maybe because the professional knows what's at stake, because you take it more seriously, and yet you still feel the fear. The key is you don't let it stop you. An amateur lets fear stop them. A pro never lets fear stop them. Why? Because their commitment to winning is greater than their desire to avoid the thing that they fear. Overcome your fear, face it, beat it, play to win, and you will.